God didn't bring you through this for nothing, right? Brought you through this for you to go get somebody else out the fire, you know?
Yeah,
And
absolutely,
and
bro.
and,
I
and
love
it,
that.
my oldest daughter, Brianna, she answered the phone and she was like, Dad, I'm not disappointed in you, but I'm disappointed in your actions. I found out that the drugs wasn't even the problem. Scott was the problem. And so now I got to go ask a man to help me because I don't have this thing figured out.
Most people will keep on suffering because they don't know how to ask for help, or they're maybe too prideful and think that they don't need help. People don't resist change. People resist being changed. Bro, thank you so much, bro. I just have a genuine love for people, bro. And I guess it's something I realized the other day, bro. Like empathy is something that can't be taught. You can't get a fucking degree and you can't learn this shit in the books. You know, you have to go through shit to learn empathy because every single one of us is going through shit and dealing with shit all the time. You know what I mean? It's to get through that
For
on the other
sure.
side of it, you know? It's
For
fucking
sure. You,
the
you know,
journey.
people say the communication is the key, but understanding really is.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
110%.
And if you're able to step outside of your own selfish ways and try to get an understanding of what people are going through, man, and try to put yourself in their shoes, then you could really get a different perspective of everything, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
So many people are nervous to tell their story, right? So many people are nervous to get out there. And I tell them all the time, like I try to encourage them, like, look, man, it's your truth, right? You can't mess up your truth.
Hmm.
And you don't know. It doesn't matter, bro. There's always somebody out there that can relate and get something from something that you said,
Yeah.
and it's the only way we get to keep this thing, right? Him and I both work a 12-step program, and the only way to keep it is to give it back. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way you're going to keep it. And for me, that's whenever I fell in love with the program.
Yeah, man, I think that's like truly, bro. That's what God wants for us all the time, anyway, is to better give back in a sense like that to help the next man. You know, like that's what we're here for. Why not? Why not?
Me,
and
me,
the truth sets you free, bro. Like just speaking it out like that,
for sure. Well, look,
liberating.
me and Brad were talking the other day on my way home, and I was like, God didn't bring you through this for nothing, right? God brought you through this for you to go get somebody else out the fire, you know,
Yeah,
and
absolutely,
and
bro.
and
I
and,
love
and,
that.
and I'm so blessed that I've been able to live two separate lives. If you really think about it,
Oh shit, damn it.
I
Mm,
lived a life. I lived a life of chaos, destruction, and I was able to live this life that is just so peaceful today. You know what I'm saying? Not that many people get that chance to live two whole, complete different lives. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, bro. That is wild. Like from that chaos to fucking oh bro, I couldn't even imagine just the look, I'd never been addicted to drugs, you know what I'm saying? Like that. So just I couldn't imagine what it's like, especially whenever you're looking for that next hit. Like, bro, like I think a person's will at that point is fucking like they could do anything. You know what I'm saying? And they make it happen one way or another. And in a sense, I admire addicts because once they have that goal, they get it.
Oh, they get it for sure.
You know, one
Nobody
way
got
or
hustle.
another.
Nobody has hustle like an addict.
That's
But
right, bro.
but the thing is this is like, and I'm not trying to glorify that, but I mean like really, just beyond using the whole lifestyle has been a movie.
Yeah.
You know, it really has. And I really, really don't like glorifying the streets and what was done in them. But anybody that listens and anybody they know what comes with it. And
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
I was a part of all of that, you know.
Yeah.
But they got a solution though. I say this all the time, like, man, I'm a 7-time convicted felon.
Bro, whenever you
Don't
said
tell
that,
don't tell
like
me you got an excuse.
that's crazy. 7 times.
7 times. And then if
Damn.
you and then what's even wilder is if say if like they multi-billed me and they wanted to enhance me and they separated everything, I would be a 16 time. You
That's
see what I'm
crazy.
saying? So don't give me your excuse of why you can't.
Yeah, it's just that I, Scott, I'd love for you to share like what was that pivoting moment for you that kind of like, bro, I gotta change. This is not gonna work. There's no way. Like I'm gonna be dead and such, or your family, whoever, whatever. Like, what really gave you that switch?
So, I often tell people like I got comfortable at rock bottom. What society calls rock bottom, right? I got comfortable at it. And I was on the run. I had been on the run for like 9 months, and I was in St. Tammany Parish. Anybody that knows anything about St. Tammany Parish, they call it St. Slaminy. It's got a 98% conviction rate, right?
Damn.
That's
Ah,
equivalent to the feds. And
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
yeah. And so I got caught up on the causeway, and I had on me, right? But I had two separate bags, right? And they searched me, they couldn't find it, right? They never could find it. And I was, I'm talking crazy
Had
to
a
them.
good job, huh?
I know I got them on the causeway. They surround my car. And so I'm like, I know I'm going, I'm like, I got a warrant, you know what I'm saying? I got felony warrants, right? So I know I'm going to prison. Like I'm not going just to jail. So
Damn. Well, that's a
so
shitty feeling. Like,
I for
God,
sure.
dog,
For
man. I
sure.
couldn't even that's
What's,
damn, bro.
what's even worse is I had a full tank of gas, you know what I'm saying? If I would I just filled up, you know what I'm saying?
Damn,
I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
man. And
Fuck.
so they searching the car. And look, I got out the car and like I tried to talk my way out of it, obviously. Like I tried to finesse myself. And I was like, and I had a friend with me, and I was like, I said, man, look, bro, I'm gonna be honest, man, I got a warrant. And he was like, "What's your warrant for?" And I was like, just some fighting or whatever. And the police were like, oh, well, they might not come get you. And I was like, oh no, they come and get me. And he was like, okay. He was like, well, so they searched the guy that's with me. He had something on him, right? And like me, I act all
What
shocked.
the
Like I was
fuck,
like, bro,
bro?
you do that? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's funny. That is funny.
So the whole time they're searching me, they can't find anything, right? They bring me to the police station, and I keep trying to go to the bathroom, right? Because I'm trying to dump, right? I'm trying to get rid of it, and they won't let me go to the bathroom. So I'm like, okay, well, one of the narcotics officers comes out and he said, I thought it was just a fighting warrant. I said something like that. He said, no, it's a possession between 28 and 200 grams. And I said, huh, well, but I guess then that's what it is. So they bring me to the jail. I get to the jail, and I've got these two bags on me. You got to realize I already took two convictions that year, right? This is about to be my third, right? In 1 year. And
Fuck.
I'm like, okay, how can I try to like minimize this situation, right? And I was like, first of all, if I bring it into the jail, that racks up another one. But if I get caught with two bags, then that's possession with intent. But if I give them one bag, I might be able to slide through with the other, right? So I give them one bag. I give them the big bag. But they bring me into the jail. I give it to the corrections officer. The corrections officer brings me back outside. And I still got the other bag on me. They let me in the holding cell with it. And I was like,
Are you
okay,
serious?
swear.
How did that happen?
If I would know what I know now, I could have got in with all of it.
That's
Right.
crazy.
So look, so they put me in a holding cell, and I tell the little guy that they got arrested with me, I tell him, I'm like, look, bro, I got that on me. And he said, I thought you gave it to him. I said, not both bags. And he said, well, give me some. I said, hold up. So now they called this thing the rock, right? It's a holding cell, it's just concrete. And I'm 140 pounds, maybe 130 pounds, like laying on rock the whole time, like hurting. And they bring you blankets at 11 o'clock at night, and they take them back at 4 o'clock in the morning.
5 hours
And-
of blanket, huh?
yeah, right. It's
That's
horrible.
crazy.
It was horrible. I was there for 17 days. But anyways, so I give the guy the bag, and I tell him I'm done. That was the most profound words I ever said, bro. And every day I was in there, he asked me if I wanted something. And I said, I'm done. Now, at that time, I didn't understand I'm done meant this, right? I really didn't. I had no
Damn,
clue I'm
damn,
done meant
damn.
this. But I knew I was done. I knew that if nothing changes, nothing changes, right? Because if I at the rate that I was going, they were gonna lose me. It's a shock that they didn't lose me already. And so after them 17 days, I go to the back. And whenever I got to the back, man, I call home, just to let my mama know they got me. And my oldest daughter, Brianna, she answered the phone, and she was like, Dad, I'm not disappointed in you, but I'm disappointed in your actions. And something about that shook my soul, you know. And it's really not, any crazy words. It's like, it just hit different that time. And people, so I try to encourage people. They're like, oh, well, this person's went to rehab X amount of times, or this person's been to jail this amount of time. You know how many holding cells I've been in?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't, but yeah.
But look, I started going to jail whenever I was 13.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? I was 31 at that time. So from 13 to 31, doing street stuff the whole entire time, like you're gonna see a lot of holding cells.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? You can't do street stuff and not go to jail. That's just what comes with it. You know?
Scott, how old was Brianna when she told you that?
Oh, I mean, that was 8.5 years ago. So she's 20 now. So let's say like 11
12,
is 12,
13?
something like
Yeah,
that.
damn.
You know,
Wow.
and yeah, it's crazy, man. And look, and I remember like I took 5 years on that, and I did 20 or 21 months or something like that. And I got to work release, and I remember like this. Well, at first I was working in the kitchen as a trustee, and I had never been a trustee while I was incarcerated because I was never doing trustee stuff, right?
Mhm.
And so I was finally like a model inmate, I guess you could say. And
That's
I
awesome.
yeah,
So you
and
kinda flip?
I
Like
flip
yeah,
completely, flip
that's
completely. I didn't even realize, bro, that I had a spiritual experience until like years later that was a
yeah.
spiritual experience. You know what I mean? Like I thought a spiritual experience was going to be like the sky porch, confetti and disco lights and all of this stuff, but it
Yeah.
wasn't that for me. My spiritual experience was a moment of desperation. My spiritual experience was a moment of exhaustion. It was just tired, you know what I'm saying? Just fed up and knowing that I don't have this thing figured out.
Mhm.
And so I remember, that time I was in prison, like thinking to myself, like, if I could just keep this momentum up that I got going on in here, whenever I go home, I'm gonna be all right. I didn't know what it was gonna look like. You know what I mean? I didn't know what it was gonna feel like. I didn't know any of that stuff. Like all I knew is I was working in the kitchen, and then now I was on the back of a garbage truck, right? And I knew that if I could be humble enough to do this for this, I should be able to go home and be able to do that for that. And
Scott, how much were they paying you for the garbage truck?
$81 a week.
$81 a week.
Yeah.
Dang. How long that was like a 8-hour shift, 12 hour?
To
What's that
3:30,
like?
I would leave the center at like 3:30 in the morning, and then I would come back about say 3-ish, maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Damn.
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah. And but look, man,
$81.
but listen, I was so grateful. Like
Yeah.
I was so, man, you gotta understand, brother. I hadn't worked a job in 15 years. You know what
Dang.
I'm saying? So, and you got to keep in mind, I was working in the kitchen just to get out of the dorm.
Mhm.
They weren't paying me nothing to do all of that
Yeah.
work.
Trying to change just kinda change your atmosphere kinda, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Like just
yeah.
trying to do something different, man. And not just sitting there and play cards all day, because
Yeah.
jail was always easy for me. I just go in there and play spades.
Man, I think that they should have more mental help in those facilities or at least offered, like 2 or 3 times a week where people come in there and talk to these people, you know what I'm saying? And I think they should, I don't know, everybody that wants to participate should be allowed to participate in that speech, but whoever doesn't want to, hey, you stay your ass over there, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
I feel like they're coming around.
Yeah.
I really do. I really do. I really do feel like they're coming around. And I do feel like in today's world, addiction is starting to be treated as a disease and not just a bad behavior. You
Yeah, bro.
know,
Look, I love that. Cause truly, anytime we messing up like that, it's not because we are a bad person. We're just on the wrong track. You know what I'm saying? Get
bro,
us back
listen,
on the track. You know what
listen,
I'm
I've
saying?
I've been in the trenches and I haven't met that many just pure bad people.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've met more sick people with trauma and, you know, um, emotional immaturity than
Mhm.
I've met just bad people. I'm not saying that they don't have them, and I'm not saying that they don't exist because they do got some people that they need to be, they need to be away. But
Yeah.
um, for the most part, man, man, these people are just sick, man. And look, the drugs just manifested the character defects. You see, I thought that whenever I quit doing drugs, that everything was just going to be so much better. And no, that's not the case. I found out that the drugs wasn't even the problem. Scott was the problem. You know what I'm saying? And I had to work
Yeah.
on myself. And I'm still the problem today. I'm not
Boy.
saying
Hey,
I'm
boy, that's
not.
that's the hell of awareness though. Whenever you realize that, like, dang, I'm the one. I'm the
Yeah.
one that gotta change this. You know what I'm saying? And bro, that is awesome.
The character defects were there the whole time. The drugs
Hmm.
just manifested them. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yeah,
It
110%.
just brought them out.
Hmm.
And it's like I'm far from perfect today. You know what I'm saying? And I just have, 8.5 years of working this program. You know what I'm saying? And but I'm gonna even go as far to say that, some of these character defects are probably gonna be with me for the rest of my life. But that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna continue to try to improve them, you know?
Scott, bro, it's not defects, bro. It's just who you are, and it's part of that
Right.
that process. You know what I'm saying? And
For
of
sure.
growth and evolving. Like the damn trees every year, brother. Motherfuckers die, but every year they come back and they grow back stronger. You know what I mean?
For
And
sure.
that's what happens to us through our journeys, bro. Like we'll experience this one thing. Later on, something similar may come to that again to help teach us to even elevate our consciousness even more. And it's always up and up and up.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. I think that's what makes the journey just awesome, and it's
Yeah.
exciting because we're always learning and growing.
Well, if
Always.
it wasn't that, right? If it was boring, bro, we wouldn't do it.
No, absolutely not. We'd be on the couch depressed,
Yeah,
or
we
you
wouldn't
know what
do
I'm
it.
saying, hiding out somewheres and not want to show
But
ourselves.
like you and I had talked before, it's just like, the whole perception of things, right?
Mhm.
If you could just change the way that you're perceiving things are so much more different, bro.
Yeah,
God, they're so much more
absolutely,
different, like, and,
absolutely.
and if you can really like look at a tough situation as another life skill that you're going to gain whenever you get through it, that makes it rewarding. You know what I'm saying? Even
Oh,
I'm grateful for even the bad times.
yeah, absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
it's rewarding whenever you get through something that you didn't feel like you could get through. For
Mhm.
me, but
Yeah,
that might be my little pain chaos. You know what I'm saying? But
bro.
but
I honestly, bro, I think it's like that for anybody that wants to grow mentally and spiritually. For me personally, that realization started for me whenever I was in the gym on heavy squats. Because if I'm doing heavy squats on that last 4 or 5 reps that I want to stop, and I'm like, fuck no, you got push. Go motherfucker, go. You know what I mean? And you get through, you're like, fuck yeah, I did that.
yeah, right,
It's
right.
the same thing with challenges. We face those challenges, we bust through and like, fuck yeah, I did that shit. I did
It's
that
it,
shit.
it's the
You know?
uncomfortable moments. The
Yeah.
uncomfortable moments mean that you grow.
Yeah. That's
You
the
know,
only way you grow.
that's the only way you grow. Like if I'm
Yeah.
comfortable, I don't need to be here. You
Right.
know, I
Absolutely.
look. I That was just the beginning, right? Like that was just the beginning of it.
So how was it coming back home, bro? Like, because I'm sure like people that you was hanging out with before was like, "Hey, Scott, what's up, man? How you doing?" And they still on the streets want to do stupid shit.
No,
No.
no,
Oh, okay. You knew
no.
that already.
Look, man, I've been going to jail and coming home and falling into that trap. Look, you know what I did, man? Like I deactivated Facebook. I deactivated all social media for like my first 2 years home. And the only way that you were going to get in contact with me was if I granted you access to it. And man, like I got me a job working at Rouse's, making $126 a week. You know,
Dang.
it was
Boy, that's
better than
humbling.
it was better than
Humbling.
81.
Yeah. Hey, it's all about elevation, bro.
Yeah, it's a step forward, bro. You got to
Absolutely.
celebrate this. You got to celebrate the small wins.
Yeah,
And
man.
at that moment, man, I was happy. I was happy, bro. Like, like I was going to meetings. I had got back into a drug court program in Terrebonne Parish, and I was really applying it. You know what I mean? And man, I spent like my first 5 years just focusing on mental health.
Were
And
you helping other people along your journey? Like, because I'm sure you've come across some people in drug court and all that stuff, and I'm sure at that point you were probably good enough to help inspire other people, even though you wasn't fully there
mm-mm,
yet. No, no.
no, I wasn't. I wasn't. And I'm gonna be honest. My first 5 years of being clean or sober, however you want to say it, man, I did everything safe, right? Like it told me to change my people, places, and things. And so I did. And like whenever I say safe, like bro, I was going to work, I was coming home, I was going to the grocery store, I was going to meetings, you know what I'm saying? I was very limited on, and but at that time, like I had my sponsor at the time had told me to get a hobby, right? So I was like, man, I like fishing. And he told me to get a hobby that was rewarding, but not fast rewarding. It took some time. So I was like, bass
Mhm.
fishing, bro, you can go bass fishing and not catch a fish. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna just start fishing, and so I started bass fishing. And that's what I would do on my weekends. I wasn't worried about physical health. I wasn't in the gym. I wasn't doing any of them things. It was just all mental health. Um, and then somebody stole my fishing poles, and I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? So I was,
Dang,
yeah, man. But that was kind of discouraging. But then I found something else, right? And man, like, and that's still the hobby that I'm in today. Like saltwater fish aquariums, like that is like my thing. Like I've fell in love with that like
that's cool.
tremendously. I just look like this, bro. I'm really a nerd. So I mean, but no, it's like I service work looks so different than just helping somebody. You gotta understand, brother. I couldn't help nobody because I hadn't found the solution yet.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We don't give advice, we give suggestions, right?
Right.
My advice
Mhm.
is what's gotten me in the situation that I got into. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I would give select people rides to meetings. That's service, right? I would set out the chairs before the meeting. That's service. I would help fix the coffee. That's service, right?
Mhm.
There's so many different ways of doing service work versus just grabbing somebody and trying to help them. You know what I'm
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah, I see that. That's those little things are all valuable, you know what I'm saying? And so it's
They all hold their place.
yeah, absolutely, bro.
They all
Absolutely.
hold their place. Because look, if nobody's making coffee, bro, trust me, you're gonna have a whole bunch of alcoholics or addicts in here that's gonna be mad. You hear me? They're
Mhm.
not even gonna
Mhm.
stay at the. They're not gonna stay at the meeting if they ain't no got no coffee. But then, so whenever I made 5 years, um, man, I looked at him like a big brother, man, and his name was Dustin Stillner, and he passed. And whenever he passed, man, like that stirred something up in me, bro. And I said, I got to do more than what I'm doing. I'm good enough to go. You know
You
what I'm
felt
saying? Like
you felt that
I'm ready to
calling.
go. I'm ready to go. And
Mhm.
so I was like, I need to do more. You know what? I need to start trying to do some repairs to this community that I've done so much damage to. Right. And so I started recovering out loud. And man, I didn't know it was going to do what it's done. I really didn't. But people got to understand, man. I see a lot of people, and I'm not judging at all whenever I say this, but I see a lot of people, they get, a few months clean or they get a few months of sobriety and they want to, go to the internet or social media and they want to start, putting it out there. And I need a lot of people to understand that comes with a different form of accountability. You know what I mean? People look at you for hope, for inspiration, for like
Mhm.
that light. And you gotta be 100% sure that you're truly invested into this thing. And look, I just know today I'm not gonna use. I can't promise you about tomorrow, right? But
Mhm.
you gotta be working a solid program, man. You gotta be on your step work. You gotta have a sponsor. You gotta be making meetings. You gotta be doing all of them things before you put yourself out there like that.
Mhm. Yeah, could you got to be certain of yourself. You don't want to say that shit and then back on the streets. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And then do that shit over and over. Then people gonna be like, "What the, bro? This fucking crackhead. What are you
But
doing, bro?"
but
You
it's not
know?
even just that, brother. Think about this. Think about how many people I let down, not including my family, not including myself. But look how many people in the recovery community I would let down. And I'm not trying to, I'm saying that humbly, right? There are certain people that, look up to me as hope,
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
look to them as hope. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because,
Mhm.
the newcomer's the most important person in the room
Yeah, yeah,
because
absolutely.
because they remind me of where I can go,
Mhm.
but man, I've got too much on my shoulders now, man. I can't turn back now. I'm all in.
Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome,
all
bro.
in.
So it's
I'm
been
all
8
in.
years now, huh? 8
Eight,
years.
eight, 8.5 years. Yeah.
Dude, that is phenomenal. That is awesome, bro. Like it's I don't know. I
So
commend you for that, bro,
I
cuz
appreciate that, bro. But I
not
mean, you
many
got to
people
realize, man, I started using whenever I was
mm,
9.
that's crazy. How?
Man.
Damn, that's crazy.
So look,
Damn.
man. Look. So
What
man,
school did you go to?
I went to Oakside, man. I'm from Oakside.
Damn. Damn, they
Yeah.
had that shit in Oakshire at 9 years
Man,
old.
check this out,
Fuck.
man. Look.
Golly.
So it started off drinking like everybody else. And I went in one of my older siblings' room, and they had some weed, and I took it. So I went to my friends down the street's older brother and asked him if it was real, and he took it and he said no, it's fake, but he stuck it in his pocket. And I
Bro.
said it's real. So I went back to my older sibling's room and I went get some more. You know what I'm saying? And man, listen, check this out. I knew at 9 years old this was about to be a problem.
No shit.
At 9 years old, I knew this was about to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? You got to realize,
Man.
man, I was a victim of sexual abuse, from the ages of 6 to 9. You know what I'm saying? I grew up without a dad, and whenever I hit that, all that went away.
Oh shit.
Whenever I hit that, man, you know what, bro?
Man.
I say this all the time to people, man, that DARE program failed me, man.
Yeah.
That DARE program told me that drugs was bad. Just say no. And I tried them and they was amazing.
They lied to you, bro.
They lied to me, brother. They should have told me. What they should have told me was that you're gonna love this more than anything you ever loved in your life. What they should
Don't
have
do it.
told me was, what they should
Mhm.
have told me is that you're gonna eventually put this before everything, your kids, your job, your mom, your dad, whoever. You're gonna put it before them. And not saying I would have had a different outlook, but at least they could have told me the truth.
Yeah, yeah. And look,
You know,
you never that truth could change so many people's lives in a sense, bro. Because if you know that you could lose it all because of this stupid ass habit, like, nah, man, that's probably not worth it to do it. You know what I'm saying?
but it's like I was talking to my friend earlier today, and I said, I remember I would get so high, like that young, like you shouldn't be that high that young. But
No,
I would get so high that young, man, and I remember saying to myself, man, I ain't never doing that again. And
no
then
shit.
tomorrow I'm doing it again.
Really?
So
That's crazy.
the powerlessness was there as a child. You know what I mean? It's just so many things, like looking back, like once you do like, some moral inventories, and once you really like do like some reflecting and really start working some steps with someone, you find out a lot of your things have been there the whole time. Like, like my mom would ask me to go to the neighbor's house and ask him for something. I would go stand outside. I wouldn't even go, right? And then I would come back to my mom and be like, no, they ain't got it. Well, that told me right then I was scared to ask for help back then.
Mm,
So what makes you
dang.
think? What makes you think as a grown man I'm gonna go ask for help? I couldn't
Yeah,
even do it as a little boy.
bro. Look, Scott, I love how you just said that, bro. Because most people would keep on suffering because they don't know how to ask for help, or they're maybe too prideful and think that they don't need help. You know what I'm saying? It's
So,
heartbreaking.
and I can only speak for men because I'm a man, right?
Yeah, especially
Eh,
men.
I can only speak for men because I'm a man. So I'm sorry if any women feel left out, but I can't speak from your perspective. But you got to realize, man, um, they told us to suck it up. Don't be a little girl. I'm gonna give you something to cry about, right? That created monsters.
Yo, yeah, 110%, hundred
Especially
and
where I
ten.
went to next, right? I went to the streets, and the streets told me that the only acceptable emotion is anger. That's the only one that's cool, right?
That's true. To
So
like fight and be tough.
be
Yeah,
tough.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
went, so
It's
I
true.
went out there and I'm walking around with a chip on my shoulder. And it's not because I was angry all the time, bro. It's because I had all these other feelings and these emotions that I didn't even know how to process.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, listen, I take my hat off to anybody that makes that phone call and gets them a bed and a treatment, because I still today have not been capable of doing it. I had to be removed from the streets.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it takes a lot of courage for somebody to and then I remember whenever I first came into the rooms, right? And walking in to a meeting, and they told me to get a sponsor, and I gotta go ask this stranger, which is a man, which I ain't never had a dad. I mean, I had my grandpa and he played a huge part of my life, but I never really had like an in-house m- you know,
That
manly
figure.
figure to look at.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now I got to go ask a man help me because I don't have this thing figured out.
That
You
was
know,
tough,
s-
huh?
Oh my God,
Yeah, it probably took you a little while to build that courage to do it, huh?
bro. And look, and so I move out here to North Carolina, man, and I got to do the whole process over again. You know what I'm saying? And I did
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? But it was a lot easier the second time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because I got practice at it now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I go to this my home group, man. Man, they have somebody in there who has 43 years. That's the most time I've ever seen in one person,
That's
right?
crazy.
Man, she shows up to every meeting. And I don't even know if she knows it, but what that does for me, like
Mhm.
that proves to me that this thing doesn't stop. That proves to me that you don't graduate from this. You don't get a certificate of completion. Like it is a forever, lifelong journey, that I got to stay vigilant with. You know what I'm saying? Like I got
Mhm.
to stay on top of it because if I don't, it's going to trick me, right? It's going to get the best of me in the moments that I'm weak.
Mhm.
But people think, they go to a 28-day program or whatever, and it's like, oh, no, I'm cured. No, it says that there is no known cure, but it, however, can be arrested, you
Mhm.
know. And I know anything that's under arrest is looking for bail. I know Scott
Mhm.
was.
Mhm. Man, I love that, dude. That
was. We're all addicted to something.
Oh, yeah, 100%, you
We
know?
don't want to talk about it, right? We
100%.
we don't want to talk about that, right?
Mhm.
Because you know, society doesn't want to admit that sugar and salt are the two most addictive substances on the face of this planet.
Mhm.
And I got news for you, they kill more people than fentanyl.
Yeah, and that's that. People don't realize that either, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because over time, I read this book, it's called The Slight Edge, and it just talk about the compound effects of just money, habits, everything, right? So sugar, we think, oh man, just having that one candy, two candies today, and you know what I mean? But over time, having that candy 3 times, 4 times a week, it's big. It's a lot. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? In that moment, oh man, it's just one candy, two candies. This ain't gonna kill me, but
Right. It's
over 10, 15 years, that's a lot,
a lot.
You gotta look at the long haul.
I seen that, I'm sure you've seen it too, the meme where I don't know if you may have, where it says something about like, if you think you know what it's like to be an addict, let someone take your phone for 24 hours.
Yeah, it's true.
90% of this country would struggle.
Boy, you ain't lying. You are not lying. Go,
90% of this country would struggle. You hear me?
bruh. Look, I hear this thing where they talk about taking on the grids one day and being out of power for 30 days or some shit. So, could you imagine the chaos? Dude, with no electronics?
Bro, look at a hurricane for 2 weeks.
Yeah, seriously,
Look at a
bro.
hurricane for 2 weeks. It's
But
like,
something about them hurricanes though, they bring people together. You
do
know what
they?
I'm saying? And that is the beautiful part. I love whenever everybody's helping each other, man. I wish it was like that all the time, not just
For sure.
it's like
Right.
Christmas time too,
It's like I think after Ida, I think I even posted something along them lines. It was like and it says something like, if only we could keep this,
Mhm,
because it is a beautiful moment. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Everybody's got a helping hand,
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
you
That is
know.
I hate to see that shit happen, but I like to see that part happen, and if it was like that all the time, like you said, it
But
would be great.
but it's capable. It's
Yeah,
capable of happening. So it's like
110%.
you shouldn't have to have a catastrophe. You know what I'm saying? A catastrophe
Yeah,
for it to happen. You know what I'm
but
saying? So it's like,
and think about it though, because look, a lot of times people, even God, you know what I mean? They don't start praying to God until something bad happens.
you
It's
ain't never
almost the
lying,
same,
boy.
almost the same thing.
Yeah. I always used to say that you can take an atheist, boy. You put a hole in them.
God,
They
please
know,
help.
they know
It's true.
Jesus, Muhammad, and Buddha. You know what I'm saying?
Right? Yeah, it's so true.
But man, hey, but that's another thing that a lot of
Shit,
people early on in recovery struggle with is a higher power of their understanding. And I did. I struggled tough, bro. I had resentments for God.
really.
And oh my God, man, you got to realize, that whenever I was being molested from 6 to 9, you know, I remember thinking to myself, if there's a God, then why ain't he here? You know
Protecting
what
you.
I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember, going to the streets and seeing, man, you see the devil straight in the face in the street. And you look at it and it's like, how is it if he allows all of this to go on? You know? And then years later, right, I go into this room and this old man that's sponsoring me tells me, you're making this thing more complicated than what it should be. You didn't check the legs on the chair before you sat down. That's faith. And whenever I first came into the rooms, bro, I just had hope, right? I didn't, and there was days that I didn't even know what I had hope in. Sometimes it was just hope and hope. And the more and more I showed up, hope turned into faith. The program that I work is not a religious program, right?
Hey, Scott,
It's
can you share your perspective on the difference between hope and faith? Because I would love to hear your perspective on hope and faith.
so for me,
Just so, yes,
for
absolutely.
me, for me, hope is the thought of something, right?
Hmm.
Faith is the believing of
Hmm.
something, right? For me, if I have hope in something, it's just I have a positive perspective that this might potentially happen, right? But whenever I have faith in something, that means I believe without a shadow of a doubt that this is going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
You,
I love
you
that.
know,
That's
you
yeah,
know, and I'm sure somebody's gonna come in the comments and have something way better than that. But that's just mine. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's just my understanding of it. Um, you know, but once you believe in something, bro, man. I was listening to a podcast one time, and the guy said that three things that a person needs in order to live a decent life is good health, decent finances, and faith in something.
Hmm.
He didn't say what in specific. You know what I'm saying? He just said faith in something. And I truly believe that, man, because whenever the weight of the world's on your shoulders, man, you gotta have somebody to get this shit off to.
110%.
You gotta have
Absolutely
some.
no. And
Yeah.
just, I don't know. I feel it's just knowing that you have somebody with you and that works with you and through you at all times. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. There's just that source always giving us the messages that we need when we need it. And it's not us. You know what I mean? It's we receive that message. It's like a download in a sense. At least that's how I receive it.
It is. It is. Listen, man. Like, look, my life, right? And look, anybody you could go read about me. Don't take my word. Just go to the clerk of courts and read about me, right? Um, I am a living proof that nothing can come in between whatever God has planned for you. Because
That's
there's no other explanation of why I'm sitting here in front of this camera having this conversation with you, brother.
yeah,
No other explanation.
yeah.
I can't even say that I cheated death. He gave me grace and let me make it, man. Because there was many times I shouldn't have. And there's many times that I shouldn't have got to come home, but I did,
Mhm.
you know. And I'm grateful for that, man. And if I would throw it all away, right? That's basically, just telling God, I don't even want what you got for me.
Bro, man, I love that. That is so real. It's almost like a tree refusing to grow
Yeah,
because He's giving you what you need. It's just for you to realize
yeah.
that this is something that's going to help you to grow. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to go, go.
Could you imagine just look at him straight in the face and just say, "Man, I don't even want what you got for me, man."
Bro, that's wild. We do. Hey, look, sometimes people do that. We do that. You know what I mean? Even just some challenges you feel, because I think that's the thing with God and being connected like that is the obedience. Because
Mm,
we know what to do, we know what we should be doing. You know what I mean? Because God feeds us that, but the other part of the fear, that little devil, whatever you want to call it, the negative energy wants to tell you this bullshit like you're not good enough. You can't do that. What the fuck are you thinking, bro? Isn't it easier just to go back and do this?
yeah,
No,
yeah.
get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah, right, right. In the rooms, they always say, you'll hear people say, the disease is in the parking lot doing push-ups or something like that. No, no, the disease is right here on me all the time. It ain't in the
Yeah.
parking lot. It ain't in
Hmm.
the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? You know, the circumstances have changed, right? And that's where the change came for me. But it doesn't mean that it don't pop in and show its face every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't act on it. I don't choose it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna sit up here and say that,
8 years
life,
later, 8 years later, you still have that little every now and then.
brother, it's in me, not on me.
Dang,
It's in me, not on me. I don't have the desire to use.
I got you. Okay, okay. I didn't think.
But
I didn't think so. I was like, dude, there's no fucking way.
but you
You
got to
can't
think
go
about
eight
this.
years. You know
But think about this. Oh yeah, there's people that have 20 years that go back out there. Y-
what,
yes, for
dude? What
sure.
the
I've
fuck?
heard about it more times than you can count. But
That's
the thing is
terrible.
they don't stay on top of it. They stop making meetings. They feel like they're cured, right? They don't have a sponsor no more. They don't, you know what I mean? Like they forget what foundation got them here.
Mm,
But for me, it's not the desire to use, right? But I'll keep it 100 with you. There has been times where I get my paycheck and I say, "Oh boy, we could flip that,"
triple this real quick.
and you don't get loaded no more.
Yeah, make a lot more money this time.
Yeah, it's gonna be different this time. You
Yeah,
know,
but
yeah, I just
yeah,
got to stay on course, right? If I just stay on
yeah,
the path, you know what I'm saying, and
yeah,
and
yeah.
I know all will be well. I know that if I just continue to do the right thing or try my best to do the next right thing every time, it's only gonna keep getting better. That's the thing that I wish that I would have knew in the beginning. Whenever people told me, it just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. It really does just keep getting better.
Yeah, absolutely. Your awareness gets better. You start seeing shit that you couldn't see before. It's just a better
The
connection, bro.
the
And
mental clarity, the emotional clarity,
mhm.
um, and not only that, man, it's just like the amount of different doors that open up now.
Mhm.
Look at where I'm at today in North Carolina. Like I never would have thought that would happen for me,
Yeah,
man.
10 years ago, you would have somebody would have told you to be doing this right now and be like, fuck no, ain't no way. Ain't
10
no
years
way.
ago, I was sitting on my mama porch telling her mama whenever they pull the cove, I'm going to prison.
Dang,
You know
dang,
what I'm saying?
crazy.
I had already done, came to terms and or came with peace with that. That's where my life was going to end. Bro, listen, look how crazy and sick this is. I used to say that you ain't made it till you went to the feds. Man, come on, man. You know how sick that sounds?
Now that you know, huh? You're like,
Yeah.
fuck that.
I really used to think that I hadn't made it yet because I didn't get to go to the feds yet. You know, it's
Dang,
like,
dang.
bro,
What
and
kind
it
of
just
goals you had? You
none.
know?
Obviously,
That's
obviously,
crazy.
I came up where that was glorified. You know,
Mhm. That's what
that's
made you
what
tough. That's what made you a man,
I
huh?
guess. And then I
That's
found
wild.
out. I found out years later that none of that has anything to do with being a man.
No, hell no. Fuck no. That's pure ignorance.
Yeah, none of that has nothing to do with. It don't matter if you could beat me up.
Yeah,
That
okay.
ain't gonna make you a man. Ain't
Right.
gonna make me less of one. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, it's
You know,
facts.
but in the world that I grew up in, man, that's what the definition was. You know,
Mhm. Yeah, it's
and
true.
it's just crazy. You know, I spent 31 years of my life trying to build a reputation that I'm spending the rest of my life trying to get rid of.
Boy, look, we do that. I think that's part of the growth, the journey of life, whereas because we didn't know better, it's kind of like our parents that whenever they raised us, my parents, like I was a baby, like 9 months old, being fed beer.
I
You know what
seen
I
that.
mean?
I seen you said that. I was like, what?
Bro, look, I got a picture. I'm about to show it to you right here. But instead of having a sippy cup as a kid, as a toddler, I had fucking beer. Bruh, I found that picture the other day. I was like, holy shit, like I still got that picture. I didn't know I had it. And that was just normal, bro. Just to drink, And whenever I got like 8, 9 years old, my mom was trying to get me to stop, but she would drink with my older brother, and I'm underneath the table, and he's
Yeah.
he's hooking me up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still drinking. She didn't know. My dad passed away whenever I was 14,
I'm sorry to hear
bro.
that.
For time, whenever like from 14 to 19, bro, I could probably count on one hand how many days I was sober in those 5 years, just heavily drinking.
But the thing is, this is especially like in our culture, right? Like coming from South Louisiana, alcohol is so ingrained
Oh,
in
bro.
everything. And the thing is that that's the worst one out of all of them.
It is because it causes so much trouble.
It's not even just that, bro.
Just
Do you realize that if you're drinking every single day, if a person calls me right now and says, Scott, I drink every day, and if I don't drink, I have the shakes, I will tell that person, do not stop drinking. I will tell that person, go to a detox center. And do you realize that a lot of detox centers will send them to a hospital so they have a medical staff?
damn,
Because there's only two substances that have recorded deaths during detox, and that's alcohol and Xanax.
no shit. I did not know
Yes,
that. That's
yes,
fucking wild. I did not know
yes.
that.
It is hard. Alcohol is, look, hands down. And look, I have to identify as an alcoholic before anything, right? Before any of it, because I have made some of the poorest decisions of my life.
Absolutely.
On the other shit, I was too paranoid to do it. But on
Well,
that
you ain't lying. That alcohol, yeah.
I don't care about
Mhm.
nothing. And what people don't realize is you wonder why you're depressed. Alcohol is categorized under a depressant.
Mhm.
That's why you get the crying ugly drunk girl. You know what I'm saying? Like she just ugly
Emotional
crying. You know what I'm saying?
fucking wreck, yeah.
Right. And you lose emotional clarity. And
Mhm.
and and like alcohol on all of them is by far hands down the worst. And it blows my mind that it's legal. And look, I'm not knocking nobody that drinks, right? Because you look, the definition of it is this is that we admitted we were powerless and that our lives had become unmanageable. If your life
Right.
is manageable, that's not for me to determine.
Mhm.
For me, my life is unmanageable whenever I put a substance into my body. That's just mine, right?
Mhm.
And I know that I can't. I don't get sad about it. I don't get upset about it. I can't go have a couple drinks with y'all. Nah, but I'll eat. I'll get on my fat boy stuff and eat while y'all drink.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
That's on
absolutely.
y'all. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
in today's world, like I don't even go to them types of places. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't for what?
Yeah, it's not your people, bro.
For what?
Because it's too different, of energy frequencies, even the conversations with somebody that's drinking and drunk, it's just gibberish. Like, dude, get out of here.
But it's not
That's
even just
my
that.
opinion.
It's not even just that. How social media works, right? That's the last thing I need, bro. Is for a picture, somebody to take a picture. Oh, look, this is Scott at the bar, and I've got literally a cup of water, right?
Hmm.
And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, Scott's drinking. Yeah, nah, I'm not even. I'm not even
Like, put
surrounding
yourself.
myself in that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like for what? Like for what?
Yeah.
Because I'm not worried about me drinking. I'm not worried about me doing drugs. But I got off days, and these hands sometimes, feel like they can't stay in my pocket. So that would be what would happen to me at the bar. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Somebody would say something crazy to me, and then you know what I'm saying, and I'm involved in something for what? Like, man,
Yeah.
I do safe stuff today, man. If my kids can't go, I can't go.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that, bro. So, how old are you, Scott, right now?
I'm 40.
40.
I'm
Dang, bro. Like, I
40.
think, I think that's the pivotal point in a man's life. Like, plenty of books that I've read, they always say that a man is not a man until he's like 40 years old, because usually that's whenever even more success comes in their lives, because most of the great people didn't wasn't successful until after 40. And I think that's phenomenal, bro, that you're
Keep
40,
talking, bro. Keep
because
speaking that into
it
my
keeps,
life, man.
dude, it's
Keep speaking
coming,
that.
bro. You
Yeah.
know it's coming, bro. You know it's coming. It's,
Yeah.
it's the next few years of your life, bro. It's gonna, you
Yeah.
won't be doing what you're doing right now, bro. I I personally just see you on the stage somewheres and just helping people, making that
That's
impact.
that's all I want to do, bro. Look, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I just want to spark the change, and if not spark the change, spark the thought of change.
Hmm. Yeah,
You know what
planting
I'm saying?
seeds, planting
Yeah, that's
seeds.
it. I don't need to see it grow.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong, it's great. It's great to see it grow, you
Hmm.
know. Um, but I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? I never, even today, like I didn't start this for likes, views, shares, comments. It's none of that, man. Like all I can do is just share my experience, strength, and hope, man, and hope somebody can get something from it. and see a light at the end of the tunnel, man. That's it, you know? And if I can help with people along the way, then I will. You know what I'm saying? I walk through a door, bro, I hold it open for the next. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
That's
you
cool.
know, what was phenomenal is like my previous job I had in Louisiana. You know, I was able to get some people that were in recovery jobs. And man, it was a daisy chain, bro. It was so amazing. Like one person, I brought them to work every hitch, right? They didn't even have a vehicle, right? They saved up their money and they got a vehicle. Well, guess what? They brought the next one. And
That's
then they
cool.
brought the next one. And it
Yeah.
was like, you know, watching somebody turn, like I get more excited about their wins
Yeah.
than I
Yeah.
do my own. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like I'm like, man,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? And not that it's not about me, but because they do the work. I have more time than them. So it's like,
Yeah, but you
what
lit that spark, bro. You lit that spark.
I would like to
So
think so. I would like to think so, but you know, I got to keep in mind, man, and stay humble, man, and I'm not even that powerful enough.
mhm.
You know what
Man,
I'm
look,
saying?
Scott, that humbleness, let that shit go, bro. Let that shit go. Cause I think that humbleness sometimes keeps people small because in a sense they care a lot what other people think because they're afraid of the judgment from somebody, you know. No, fuck that, bro. If you achieve this, fuck, be loud, be proud. You fucking deserve it because you did it. You know what I mean? And just knowing that you were able to help other people and impact people in a way, accept that, bro. That's what God wants for you. That's what God wants for all of us to help the next person out. And you doing that, bro. You doing that. And
Try
own
my
that shit,
best.
bro. That humbleness, man, let it go.
You
Like,
know, the thing is that they gotta want it though. You know,
mhm. Oh yeah,
and they gotta
110%.
put in the work. You know, it
Mhm.
don't matter if
Yeah,
it don't matter if I sponsor them, right? Um,
110%.
they got to do the step work.
Yeah,
I can walk them
110%.
through it,
Mhm.
but they got to put forth the effort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, the thing is that it takes a lot of work, man. It takes a lot of discipline, and it takes a lot of, how could you say, turning away from your fleshly wants, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Those
and
little, what they call it? Little selfish needs or selfish wants. You know what I'm
selfish
saying?
wants, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
not needs, 'cause wants.
because you're gonna have them all the time, man.
Oh, yeah.
And neglecting that and just saying, like, ignoring it, and or being honest and calling somebody and telling somebody, hey, bro, I feel like this. That's what it's about, right? Because you know
Yeah.
the opposite of addiction is connection,
Mhm.
right? And the bigger your totem pole is, the better off you are, right?
Mhm.
And they tell you to surround yourself with the winners. And I found out that whenever I surrounded myself with winners, the conversation was different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
way different than the
Mhm.
conversations I ever heard in my life. And today, bro, you could go, I mean, I go through my phone, man. I got somebody I could call for
Mhm.
anything at any given moment. You know what I'm saying? And I know that they'll answer. And you being one of them, I know you would answer for me without a doubt. You know what
Absolutely,
I'm saying?
absolutely, bro.
And,
Absolutely.
and so why, but people go into these rooms, man, and they can't trust. They can't trust, man. They can't trust because they can't even trust themselves.
Mhm.
People go in these
That's the
rooms, man,
part.
and they're so used to people being out to get them. They don't even know
Yeah.
what help looks like.
Right. It's
You know what
it's
I'm
sad
saying?
but true, bro. Sad but
You
true.
know, they can't wrap their head around it. Look, man, this man just wants to help me, bro, just to help me get forward, bro. They can't wrap their head around it, bro. And there's no ulterior motives. There's
Yep.
none.
It's that fight or flight, bro. They feel like they always gotta protect themselves, so they
And,
just
and what they
reject it in a sense, you know?
and what they don't get is that, look, by me helping you is helping me. This
Mhm.
is a selfish, selfless program, right?
Yeah.
And it's helping me in so many different ways, man. You know what? If I could help this dad be a better father to his children, then that's the promise that I made to my little girls whenever I said I'm going to go out here and try and help people, so no little girl got to feel the things that I made you feel.
Yeah,
You know what I
dude,
mean?
that's powerful, bro. That is awesome.
You know,
Man, this guy, you a good dude, bro. We need more people like you in the world. So, and I'm glad that you sharing that gift, your knowledge with the world, like you do, because people need to hear that shit. You on TikTok too, aren't you?
yeah, TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, you blew up on TikTok. You got a big
Oh man,
following on
I
TikTok.
don't know about big. I don't even know about all of that, man. Like, uh, man, my daughter taught me how to work that, man. I didn't
Oh,
even know how
really?
to. Yeah, man,
That's
I didn't even
funny.
know how to post a video, man. And
That's funny.
look, you got to think, man. Look, it's That's where I get a lot of my speaking arrangements from, is from TikTok, and I'm grateful for that.
Really?
Yeah. But look, it's not about popularity for me, man. Like, I was popular my whole life in school. Look what that got
Yeah.
me.
Just the reach you make though, you know what I'm saying? That's the blessing in it because the more people you can reach, the better off. And it's funny because I'm just realizing that shit today. I post content and I just post shit just to post it. I don't do it with no intention of trying to help, not trying to help myself grow a channel or an audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's always just to know that somebody's gonna see this and somebody needs to see this message, and hopefully they get it and receive it and learn. You know?
And that's why you're gonna win.
Yeah.
That's why you're gonna be successful. Man, I got so many people, bro, they message me, bro, and they like, "So could you tell me how you did this? Like, how did you, you know?" And I'm like, "What you mean?" And they're like, and
You
they're
just get
like,
on.
"I just get on there, I talk my shit, and I post it.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
I don't,
it. Simple.
I
I
don't
do.
do
I
the,
love
I put a little beat behind it, and I send it on its way."
Scott, bro. Like whenever I looked at your page the other day, like some of your videos, I was like, dude, like he just does it so simple. You know what I mean? Just put the phone right there in the car and just
Yeah,
talk what's on your heart and just boom, like you just
just send
said,
it. Just
bro.
send
That
it, bro.
and people connect with that, bro, because your content is so raw, authentic, and real. You know, and people can relate to. I love it. I
I
love it.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. But the thing is that, ultimately, like, and just like your situation, like this doesn't start, it didn't start about that. And
Hmm.
it's not gonna end about that either. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? This is really just trying to go back into the fire and pull some people out, man.
Hmm.
And if I could be a part of that, great. You know what I'm saying? I know they do got like algorithms where like people like look at like times and dates and when to post this and when to post. I don't do all of that, man.
Yeah,
I just
the post.
record it and send it,
Same.
bro.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
If they
Love
listen, they
that.
listen. But you know what I do know? It's the same thing like whenever I share my story, like on a stage, man. It's like, I'm not gonna touch. So much has happened in my life, bro.
Mhm,
That there's no way I could touch everything in 1 hour, right?
mhm.
At
Yeah,
one
right.
time. And I don't write nothing. I don't rehearse nothing. Like, I just go up there and I just say whatever comes to me, right? And there's times like I would walk off stage like in the beginning and I would feel like, man, I should have said this. No, God didn't want you to say it at that moment. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true. That's true. Yeah.
Let
Yep,
the
you said
spirit
what
lead
you
you, man. Yeah,
yeah,
you said God, look, God, your high power brought whatever needed to be brought out at that given moment. That's it.
yeah.
You know,
Yep,
and,
yep.
and I'm not about to turn this into a job, man. I'm not about to turn this into you know, to where that I'm like, oh God, if I don't post this at this time, nah, I'm not doing all that, man. I got a job for
Boy,
real, man.
look.
I work my job. I work my job. I make good money. I'm gonna go do that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just do this, because it gives me the biggest gift I could ever get, and that's it's keeping me clean and sober, man.
Yeah, giving back and being accountable because I don't know, knowing that somebody's watching you and like so inspired and just driven just by your words and your wisdom that you sharing with them, bro. Like it's I don't know, like you don't want to, I guess, let yourself down, but you don't want to let them down either. You know what I mean? Because
Accountability, dog.
yeah,
Accountability, bro. And not only that, man, but like you being transparent online like that, bro, it's a whole different level of acceptance too.
yeah, absolutely,
You know what I'm
bro.
saying? Like this is who I was, but guess what, man? That's not who I am today. And I'm so grateful because, people always used to tell me that I wouldn't be able to get rid of my reputation. And I really truly believe in my heart that if you would ask people about me today, man, the good outweighs the bad today.
Hmm.
And I'm so fortunate because a lot of people can't say that they gotten that same opportunity. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I remember you telling me about your brother-in-law. Him
Oh my
telling you
God,
something
bro.
like that, huh?
Bro, the best compliment I ever got, bro. Salute to
Yeah,
him. Oh my God, man. Whenever he told me, man, he was like, I don't even remember what you were like whenever you were. And I was like, what? And he was like, we were sitting in his man cave, man. And he was like, man, I do not even remember what you used to be like whenever you was using. He said, I can't see you as anything different than who you are now.
that's so cool, bro. That is so good. He like what? Fuck yeah, that's so good.
That's
Yeah,
forgiveness.
yeah, that's true too. Absolutely, bro. That
That's
is
forgiveness.
yeah, that's a good dude. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
look, Scott, bro, I was telling my wife the other day, I feel like the version of my drunken self, I feel like that's a person that died, you know? So for me, like, I don't even really talk about drinking like that because it was an issue for me for so long. But that version of me is dead, bro. I'm not that person no more. And I guess, I don't know, like, it's inspiring in a sense because it's something I overcame, but it's something that's like, for me now, it's like, it's nothing, you know? That dude dead, you know?
Right, for sure.
Dude's
You know what I'm
dead.
saying? This whole psychic change.
Mhm.
The
Yeah,
whole psyche
110%.
change. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
110%.
changed. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
And that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? But you can't have one without the other, right? Because
Yeah.
they got the thing called a dry drunk. I don't know if you've ever
Mhm.
heard of that, where a person just don't drink, but they still got all the characteristics of the alcoholic, right?
That's
But
crazy. I couldn't imagine that. I would
no,
hate
I
that.
don't want that. I don't want
No.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Hell no.
Could you imagine like not doing crack but still doing crackhead stuff? No, I'm good on that, man. I don't
Yeah,
want to do
yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No. That
but
don't change the character.
they do have people that does that, man. But you got to have the whole psyche change, man. You got to
Mhm,
have everything about you, man. Like the whole spiritual experience, the spiritual awakening, like and look, it's not gonna happen out the gate.
mhm.
It's gonna take
So
time, man.
so earlier I heard you mentioned something about, the program that you're in isn't like a religious, program. I went to one meeting once, and I went for my selfish needs, if I'm being honest,
Yeah,
because truly I went just because I wanted to connect with them and kind of tell them who I was and hopefully land a speaking gig. You know, that's what I wanted to do. So ended up going and them saying, "Hi, my name is Mo and I'm an alcoholic." I was like, "No, I'm not saying that shit because I'm not a fucking alcoholic. And words are powerful." So I refuse to call myself an alcoholic. And at the end of the meeting, I asked the person, I said, "Man, like, y'all realize the power of words, right? Like, why is it that we claim to be who we are not, you know?" And she said, "Well, we've been doing this tradition for 60, 40, whatever, something years." And I was like, I understand that, but words are powerful. Do you realize that, you know? And
for sure.
for me, I didn't go back to that meeting because I'm not claiming to be an alcoholic. I refuse to, you know. I want to help people, but I'm not claiming myself to be an alcoholic if I'm not a fucking alcoholic, you
You don't
know.
have to.
I was whenever I was in a different life,
You
different,
don't have
you
to.
know. Yeah,
You don't have. You don't. Look, you don't have to specifically say, "Hey, my name is." I don't.
yeah.
I don't. My bad, bro. I gotta get my charger.
You
Um,
good.
no, I don't say I'm an addict or an alcoholic. Honestly, you know what I say? I say, "Hey, my name's Scott, and I'm a grateful person in recovery."
No shit. Dude, that's good. Yeah, that's a lot better than claiming to be an alcoholic.
I'm not
You know,
claiming to be. Well, first of all, I'm not gonna speak that on myself, right? And not only am I not gonna speak it on myself, but I'm not gonna limit myself to one substance neither,
mhm,
because
yeah,
I'm
because
all of them.
mhm,
I'm all of them. Dude, look, bro, if you see my shoes, bro, I'm a shoe junkie too. I'm a
yeah,
hat junkie. I'm a tattoo junkie. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, yeah.
I become a, bro. I remember, bro, there were things that I would do that I didn't even like doing the first time I did them, but I kept doing them until I did like them.
Mhm. That's growth. That's how we get better. It's like riding a bike.
No, but I'm talking about on the bad side too.
Oh, the bad side too. Yeah, yeah.
My pain tolerance is through the
Yeah,
roof, bro.
yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get you. Yeah.
but I'm sure you can relate. Get drunk and go to work the next day and be like, "Oh my God, I hate this feeling.
Mhm.
I'm never doing that again."
I'm doing it again 2 days later.
If that, go home, take a nap, and then I'm back at it. You know?
Yeah, I'm fucking thirsty.
Yeah. You know. So it's like
Mhm,
it doesn't ever. And look, a person should. It's not for other people to say if a person's an addict or not. That's up for that person to, because it says we admitted we were powerless and
mhm.
our lives had become unmanageable.
Yeah, unless they see for themselves, they can't change, you
No,
know?
no, no. I
That's,
mean,
this guy I listen to, bro, Bob Proctor, he always says, "People don't resist change, people resist being changed." So you
ooh,
basically have to help bring it to light for them to see it
ooh,
and feel it themselves, you
that's
know?
dope. That was
Yeah.
fire.
Mhm.
That was really good. I agree. I agree with that, especially like coming from me, right? Like
Mhm.
the kid that didn't have a dad, the kid that has got a bunch of felonies, right? So obviously I struggle with authority.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
like being told what to do,
Mhm.
and so here you are trying to tell me that I need to change.
Mhm.
And that's and look, and check it out. That's another thing, man. It's like I'm not going to like talk to someone, right? And like 12 step them to death. I'm not gonna do that. I'm
Mhm.
gonna love you exactly where you're at.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna love you where you're at. And if
Mhm.
that's using, then guess what, man? I still love you, bro.
Absolutely, bro, and that's how it should be, you know. I wish I posted something the other day about strangers. I think a lot of times, because as kids we're conditioned, don't talk to strangers. Strangers are bad people, you know?
Stranger danger.
Yeah, yeah. So, bro, like, why couldn't we just change that concept and give the person the benefit of the doubt? Say, "Hey, how you doing?" If they're mean, ugly, whatever, like, hey, that's okay. You know, just go on by your business. But just being kind and showing kindness to each person, because we all going through some shit in our lives. Every single person is
Every single
growing through
person, bro.
something, you know, and
Every single person. Every single person, bro, in today's world is going through something.
oh, bro, like right now, especially, bro, like I feel like there's so much growth that's happening mentally and spiritually with people seeing the truths in a lot of things and feeling those truths and realizing, bro, it's hard because it's a grief process with yourself because so much is changing within yourself. You're not the same person you was 6 months ago, you know?
So you're saying
Constantly.
it's like death to old me,
Yeah.
so it has like a grieving period behind it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
that's
And
fire.
it makes it tough. It
Yeah.
makes it hard, you know?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I could see
Mhm.
that.
Like the
It's
old
like,
version of you dying off.
yeah, so like you got to evolve into something new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like those locusts, you know, those locusts that kinda like
Shed their
shed.
skin. Yeah. No, I feel that. I feel that
Yeah.
100%. No, man, but I don't ever want to stop.
No.
I remember my brother-in-law, man, listen, look, man, my brother-in-law is a very successful man, you know what I'm saying? And so like whenever he talks, I shut up and listen. He's I admire him a lot.
Mhm.
And he was telling me, and he probably don't even remember this, but I'm talking about years and years ago, he told me never be satisfied. And that stuck with me. Never be satisfied. No matter what you're doing, don't ever be satisfied. Don't ever think that this is just good enough. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever become complacent at this. You know what I'm saying? And whenever he told me that, man, like I'll never forget, man. We was in him and my sister's first house, right? In the kitchen. And he said, don't ever be satisfied. And you know what? I took it on the wrong side and I was like, never be satisfied. You can go get some
Yeah.
more. This
But you
ain't
got a
big enough.
different
You could do bigger.
yeah, you got a different concept of it now, different
But
perspective now though, right?
I have a different perspective. And today, I see exactly what he meant. You know what I'm saying? Because if we do become satisfied, man, we get complacent, man. And then whenever we get complacent, we don't grow no more. Complacent is just a fancy word for lazy.
Yeah. Facts.
So
110%.
yeah, I can't stand when people be saying that. Oh, I got complacent. No, you got lazy. Just be honest. You just
Mhm.
say it's easier to say complacent than what it
You
is
know?
for you to say that you're lazy.
Scott, I think that's what really got me addicted to Audible so bad, bro, because I'm addicted to learning,
Mm,
so and that for me helps me not be complacent or lazy in a sense because that mindset is always shifting and elevating because I'll listen to Audible 10, 15 times. I listen to the same book over and over.
right.
Dude, I got over 5,000 hours of Audible since 2020. So
Jesus Christ.
a shitload of books in my head, that
Yeah.
a lot of it, I know it. Like, I know what they're going to say because I've listened to it probably 15, 20, 30 times, some of them, and
Bro, that's wild.
yeah, it's insane whenever I really think about it. But for me, like, it's a lifelong journey of growing and learning. A lot of people have this vaccination mindset of education, whereas they graduate school and or go to college, get their degree, and then they don't have to learn anymore. They don't have to get a book. Some people they'll read novels and books just to entertain themselves instead of self-help books and mental books that helps your mind to grow and expand, you know?
So let me ask you this: do you think that's like addictive behavior though?
Oh, 110%.
For sure.
Because
It's almost
110%,
like it's almost like you manipulated your disease.
yeah, 110%. Because look, I was in the car for 8 hours the other day with somebody, and I didn't listen to Audible. Whenever I got home, I was like, "What the fuck, bro?" Like, I just felt like a void on the inside.
Right,
I was like,
right.
"I didn't listen to Audible today. Fuck, that's what's wrong."
Yeah,
Made my
right,
Audible, bro. I was good to go.
right.
It's
No,
wild, wild.
no, but it's wild.
Made
It's
it on
wild
foot.
how you can manipulate this thing into working into your favor.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
You really
That's
can.
the way to look at it.
I do believe that. I believe that you can manipulate this disease into working into your favor. You know,
Yeah,
if you're able to transition, all of the unhealthy habits and turn them into some healthy habits,
yeah,
and really
110%.
become addicted to them things, like how I
Mhm,
am with helping people. You know what I'm saying? Like how
mhm.
I am with I got addicted to work for a while. And then I worked at a company for 6.5 years. I got promoted 6 times. If that
Dang.
don't show you I didn't turn it into a drug,
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Because you all in 100%,
all in.
150% invested, you know what I'm saying?
I'm in this. I'm in this, man, and it's not stopping, bro. I don't
So
see no letting up because I truly believe that I'm not even close to where my higher power wants me to be.
where would Scott like to be at? Say 2 years from now.
Wherever God
Everything
wants me.
where would Scott like to be at, Scott?
Wherever God wants me.
Mhm. Where you think God wants you at?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I ain't even know he wanted me here. What you mean?
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
You just never know, bro.
I
You
don't
just
know,
never
bro.
know.
Look, listen, bro. Like I told you the other day on the phone, bro. If a door opens up, I walk through it. I don't even know if it's got a floor on the other side.
Mhm. Man, look, I always talk about Bob Proctor because he's one of the guys that I listen to a lot. And Bob Proctor, Earl Nightingale, Maxwell Maltz. Anyways, Proctor says that faith is the ability to see the invisible and believe in the incredible. And that's what helps the believers to achieve what the masters think is impossible.
Mm,
And bro, like his whole like that definition of faith was like, fuck, no shit, bro. Like it's
yeah,
us believing and knowing that, like you said earlier, and knowing that it's gonna work out because in a sense, bro, doesn't it always work out one way or
always,
another? One
always,
way or
always.
another. Always.
Always, always.
You
I
know?
don't listen. The serenity prayer, bro. I've gotten it to the point, man, where it's like, you know what I'm saying. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. That's them. The courage
Yeah.
to change the things that I can. That's me. And the
Mhm.
wisdom to know the difference between the two, and in a moment. And I'm able to look at a situation and say, can I do something about it? Nope. Okay. Don't invest in it.
Bro,
Keep it
that's
pushing.
man, that's look, so many sometimes with social media, that's one thing I kind of dislike whenever people are just bickering and arguing on a thread of some BS. I don't see that because I don't look at that, but I know it happens with people, a lot because it's just what it is. But like, why are you arguing with these people feeding this negative bullcrap, bro? Like, why does it matter to you? Just go do something. Go read a book or fucking do. I don't
What-
know.
The thing with social media has empowered a lot of people who felt like they didn't have a voice at a time,
Yeah,
right?
that's true
It,
too.
it
Yeah,
it's made everybody a journalist,
yeah.
right? It's to the point that it's people got to realize, man, not everything's internet.
Hmm.
They get on that internet, man, and they say some things. Some people pull up for real. You know what I mean? They got
Hmm.
somebody on the other end of that keyboard that's really with it.
Yo, yes.
You know
Find
what
out
I'm
where you live
saying?
at. Yo, yeah.
Yeah, they really with it, and they don't do
Hmm.
all of this back and forth. They ain't got enough data to do all of that.
Hmm. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They ain't
yeah,
got that data
yeah.
plan, and they pull up. You know what I'm saying? And so people need to really be mindful. And not only that, man. It's the bad thing is that it's black and white words that are written down, man, and people put an emotion behind it. You can't do that.
Hmm. Hmm.
You can't put an emotion behind a text.
Right,
You
that's
know what I'm
true.
saying? And it can
That's
be
facts.
taken out of context so easily,
Oh,
right?
bro, so
And
bad.
it's just the understanding, man. People need to have some understanding and have some compassion for what people might be going through, man. Because look, I had a video where I talked about this. Like whenever they were doing that whole T app thing, like for the "Are we dating the same guy?" and then they had another one like
Oh,
for the
yeah,
girls, for the
I
girls.
seen yeah.
Listen, man, like you don't know what can send somebody over the edge. and really make them, God forbid, go over,
Mhm.
right?
It's true, it's true. The straw that
You
broke the
know what?
camel's back. It's just that sometimes that's all it takes is one little
Because
fucking thing, you know?
you don't know that this person just lost their job. You don't know that this person might have just lost a loved one. You don't know that this person, you know what I'm saying? You don't know that this person was already holding on by a thread, man.
Mhm.
And you just maliciously posted a picture about him, whether it was true or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is crazy. You know, it's wild, bro. Like it reminds me of the positive and the negative, like because that's negative shit, but that negative shit fucking blew up. But something positive is, but I think they did a report back in the '60s where they found out that negative news gets way more attention than positive news. So that's why
Controversy
the
sells.
yeah, that's why the news is
Controversy
always
sells.
negative, you know, because that's what
Controversy
people
sells.
fucking want.
And it
So
keeps them in fear.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
control.
And look, and if it keeps people in fear, guess what people do, bro? People spend money when they scared, man. Real talk,
It's
bro.
so
People
true,
spend money when they, man,
110%.
they tell you that a hurricane might be about to come, dog. Watch how many people go buy some batteries and some lumber
Mhm.
and some water, and you know, and a hurricane don't even come.
Yeah, it's true,
People get scared and they spend money, man. You know,
true.
and I just think that social media and people can. It's like how that saying go: you throw a brick and you hide your hand. It's like people can do something on the internet anonymously, bro, and never have to take accountability for it.
Facts, that's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
underneath
yeah.
this whole like, John Doe thing,
Mhm,
right? And it's like they don't ever even gotta address that they're the one that did that.
mhm. That's
And
true,
it's
that's
sad,
true.
bro. And then
Yeah.
like with AI, bro, like you know what I'm saying? You can make anything look truthful.
Yeah, you can't believe
I
shit.
can have Mo doing all kind of stuff, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's true, it's true.
All
It's
I gotta do is
wild,
post it and say,
it's wild.
then it becomes a popularity contest.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Who they gonna believe?
Right.
So it's just the internet could be a beautiful thing if it's used for the right, if it's used for the right intentions. But it
Yeah.
could be a very, very detrimental thing to some people's lives
Mhm.
because they do really take this thing serious.
Man, Scott, you know what breaks my heart, bro? Is I see some girls I've never seen them post without a filter, and bro, it breaks my heart because I feel like they don't like what they look like, and that's why they feel like they have to post with a stupid filter, and it breaks my heart because, like, bro, like if you post that, that's fine, but love yourself. You're beautiful. You know what I'm
So,
saying?
look, they got guys that do the same thing, right? It's not just them.
Yeah, I do.
You know what
I
I'm
have seen probably two people on my Facebook that I know that
saying?
constantly use filters. Two
It's, look,
dudes.
somebody messaged me the other day and was like, said something about my TikTok was glitching like on my face. I said, bro, I ain't never put a filter on there a day of my life. I hit the button and if it's on there, I don't know how to take it off. Like for real, like bro, I'm so ignorant
That's
when it
funny.
comes to
That's funny.
technology.
I love
It's
that.
sad, bro. I sound old, but like I just hit the button. If it's there, if it's there, if it's not, it's not. I don't know what to
Mhm.
do. I always say the thing that blows my mind is like you got to be happy with yourself.
Bro.
You got to be happy with yourself. The good, bad, and the ugly.
Mhm.
You know
Accept
what
it
I'm
all,
saying?
bro.
Accept it
Absolutely.
all, bro. Like, how can you expect somebody to love something that you ain't capable of loving yourself?
Bro, look, my therapist kind of shared like changed my perspective on perfection. I know that humbleness, we're not supposed to claim that we're perfect, right?
Right.
But God made everything perfect. We are all perfect. In God's image, we are perfect. You know, our actions and our thoughts may not be perfect, but we're perfect beings. We're God's creation. You know what I'm saying? How can
Yeah.
we say that we're not perfect? So, and she told me that, but I was like, dang, that is so true.
Well, I
Because,
mean, it says that
and
we're made in his image.
yeah, exactly. And God is everywhere and everything, you
Then well, let's
know?
put a filter on him, cuz.
You're right.
He might have put one on too. Who knows? I
Right.
mean,
That's
but
funny.
nah, man, it does break my heart. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? I do know that confidence breeds success.
Yeah.
And there is a different perspective to look at too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got a single mom. She's been with the kids all day. She's been cleaning the house all day, and she just wants to post a picture to make herself feel pretty.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to get instant gratification,
Yeah. Yeah.
so she
Bro.
uses a filter because it's a quick fix.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of going in the bathroom for 40 hours, you know how they be. They take them 40 hours to get ready. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
So she just pops on the fence. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the beauty, is to be able to look at different things from different perspectives and say, hey, you know what? I may have not had them shoes on, but I'm gonna try them on anyway. And
Yeah, absolutely. It's under yeah, the empathy. Yeah.
yeah, the understanding. It's the
Mhm.
understanding, man. You know, it, it,
And compassion, like you said earlier
it,
too, bro. I love
for
that.
sure. Yeah,
Mhm.
if we could sit down, bro, and just have a conversation, and I could just try to step outside myself and my own beliefs, right? Because look, you can have your opinion, I can have my opinion, man. But you know what, bro? We can still love each other, man.
110%. Why not? You know?
Why not? You know what I'm saying?
100
You know, that's the thing. You know, people with these political different beliefs, man. That don't make you that don't make them the enemy, man. Because y'all got different
Mhm.
political beliefs. Like, stop,
Right.
bro. You know what I'm
Seriously,
saying?
bro. Like
It's
that's
okay for you to believe yours, just
mhm.
like it's okay for me to believe mine.
Man, I
But man, we
wish
can still love each other, man. Like it
yeah,
ain't got to
ser
we not beefed out. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't got to fight behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, just because we don't believe the same things, fuck, it's our perspective. The shit we
yeah.
went through, the shit that we've gone through helps to shape and the programming we receive helps us to gain those perspectives, you know what I
Or
mean?
better
But
yet, man, sit down with me and let's have an open conversation without a heated debate. Let's just have a conversation, man. And maybe, you know what, man? I might see what you mean.
yeah. Hey,
You
you
might
know
reel
what?
me in.
This is the second time we really talk. You know
Yeah,
what
but
I'm saying?
there's gonna be
Ever.
plenty of
But
it.
yeah, 110%.
There's gonna be plenty of them
110%. You
for
know,
sure.
because I think how we cross paths is for a reason, you know, and just having
Listen, Chase,
somebody like minded.
Brad, listen, bro. I watched Chase in that moment so many times. Man, I watched him have that God moment, man,
Yeah.
on your podcast, man. And I said, look at that. Whenever he choked up, bro, I said, boy, he about to grow. And he did,
Yeah.
man. And
Yeah,
he on it right now,
absolutely.
man. And it wasn't by mistake.
No,
It
absolutely
wasn't by
not.
mistake that
Mhm.
he mentioned my name and mentioned Brad's name. And you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And man,
110.
you know, he says he thinks the world of me, man. I've always thought the world of Chase, man, since we was young. You know what I'm saying? Chase, man, Chase has always been a pure person. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that he hasn't had flaws and things like that, but he's always had he's always been a person with a good heart. Always. And anybody that knows him will say the same. You know what I'm saying? Um, but he's one of them people that just got it, bro. He's got that gift of gab.
Oh, bro.
And I'm gonna tell
And
you right now, that journey he's on right now, he's about to shake some shit.
oh, 100. Look, he's gonna
He's
keep.
about to shake some shit.
I got goosebumps right now, bro, because I'm psyched up and I'm with him on that journey, bro. Let's go. Come on.
You mark my words, Chase Tools, you about to shake some shit.
Dude, I told him we was doing a podcast today, and he was like, "No shit, bro, that's awesome, bro. Tell him I said what's up, man." So he's
No,
fired
bro.
up too. He's fired
Hey,
up.
bro. There's no doubt in my mind that the journey that he's on right now, he is gonna have a positive impact on people's lives.
Oh, bro, he's already doing it, bro. Like he been posting these little posts in the morning or afternoon, whatever.
Hey,
Just
yeah,
a
I've been
couple.
catching. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I've been loving that. And I told him, I said, bro, keep posting that stuff, bro, because people are liking it and you make an impact with it. People are touched by that, just that little bit.
People's always gravitated to him.
Hmm. Oh,
They
bro,
always have.
he's like a magnet, you know, because
Yeah,
whenever you walk up or like walking towards each other, he's like, "What's like?" He just gets all
yeah.
pumped up and fired
His
up, and bro,
energy.
it just
Yeah,
charges you up, you know.
yeah. I love him to death, bro. I can sit here and talk about that dude forever, bro. For real.
Yeah, man,
Uh,
he's gonna love to hear this
oh
on the
Lord, don't
episode.
show him
Yeah.
all of that, bro. Hey, look. Nah, man. Man, I'm humble enough, bro. Look, I give credit whenever credit's due, bro. Like
Oh, bro,
and
absolutely.
and there's some people out here, bro. You know, I love to name all of them, man, but they got some people out here, man, that's really, really making the impact. You know what I'm saying? And they're
Hmm.
really out here, bro, and they're helping the people who silent, they're sick and suffering, bro. And they've got a lot of phenomenal people, bro.
Yeah,
And I've met a
absolutely.
lot of them, bro. That's
Yeah.
really trying their best to play their part in this thing. Not just on addiction, and I'm just talking about in life in general, bro. They really
Yeah.
got some just good people, man. And you know, it's whenever I was in the streets, bro, I didn't even think good people exist. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought
Hmm.
there was a point
Everybody
in my
was against you.
said, not even just that, bro. I thought, man, look, bro, it was hard for you to even tell me that people don't do drugs. I said, what? Ain't no way, bro. They do something. They really
Everybody
got
does
people.
it.
Everybody doing something,
Yeah, it's
you know.
true.
But it's not the truth, man.
No, it's not.
I always thought that there was people who were judgmental, man, and that's not the truth, man.
No,
No, man.
absolutely not.
They got people who will love you exactly where you're at, man.
Hmm. Man, and that's the people you got to be around. The other people that are the judgmental people.
Did you see that video the other day that I posted about judging and judgmental?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
Hmm.
huge difference.
Hmm.
It's a huge difference.
Right.
I want you to judge me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I want you to, bro.
Hmm.
You my friend. You're supposed to, you're
Check.
supposed to check me.
Hmm.
And I'm supposed to check you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
If you're not.
yeah, if
Hmm.
you're not checking me, I don't need you.
Yeah,
But you know
absolutely,
what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And it's not always going to be painless.
Hmm.
Sometimes you'll get checked and you'll be like, it's whenever because whenever somebody reads your mail and it's that real, you know what I'm saying? It's that true
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
it's supposed to stir your spirit
Yeah, it
because
got to.
you're supposed
Yeah.
to feel guilt. You're supposed to feel shame. You're supposed to feel all of those uncomfortable feelings. They're
Hmm.
uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Um, and you know what? At first, you're probably going to get defensive, and that's okay.
Hmm.
But then once you sit back and you process, and then you come back to the table and you say, you know what, bro, you was 100% right.
Hmm.
That's the friends I need in my life.
Absolutely, bro. Because some people get offended and hold a grudge and be mad at you for months.
I might hang up on
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I'll be like, hold up, what? And I might hit the red button. I ain't gonna lie. I
yeah,
might hit
yeah.
the red button and then be like, damn, boy, Mo. God, damn, boy, Mo. Damn. I'll call Brad too. Man, get what Mo just told me.
And
And then he gonna say, man, he might be on to something. I might hang up on him too. Because ain't no way I'm the
man, look,
problem.
yeah, yeah,
Ain't no
yeah,
way
yeah.
I'm the problem.
Absolutely, bro.
But you know what? I'm gonna sit on it and I'm gonna process it and I'm gonna be accountable.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you know,
Hmm.
you
Absolutely,
feel what I'm
bro. Absolutely,
saying?
a
Like
110%.
do better. That's all the judgment is.
Hmm.
Judging, not judgment. Judging.
Right.
Just do
I,
better.
I heard this thing a while back where it said something. If you waiting for the rest of the world to change, you're gonna be waiting a long time. Because a lot of times people blame, I guess, them not wanting to change or grow mentally and spiritually because they feel like everybody they encounters is bad people. Like you have a bad relationship, right? Constantly bad relationship. You want to blame it on other people, but bro, look at yourself. That, like we said earlier, change just starts with you. Once you change, the world and people around you start to change. Like me, I feel like the growth that I've gone through has led me to people like you,
Yeah.
amazing, great people. But it's through my journey and discovering and learning more about me and just being the right person. You know what I mean? So if I'm the right person, I'm going to attract the right people like
Yeah.
you.
Absolutely.
But
If I was doing street shit today, we would have never met.
no, absolutely not. No, because
We would have never. Yeah,
we're on
two
a
unequal
different channel.
yokes.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
said earlier, you said something, and somebody had told me the same thing that you told me. They said the world needs more people like you. And my response to him, then be one.
Hmm.
I'm not a unicorn.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm not a unicorn, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not
And
this. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like I don't have a cheat code.
mhm,
And if I do, I didn't know I had it. Right? I don't have. Man, I come from the same struggles, bro.
mhm.
Grew up in poverty. Grew up in a single household. Same traumas. Go out there and be one then.
It's true. It's true, man. Yeah. And more.
Because you're the one that said it. I didn't say
Mhm.
it. You said it. You
Right,
said the
right.
world needs more people like you. Then go be
Mhm.
one.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Spread it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, like what you telling me? I can't create another me.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe one day.
I don't know, bro. Hey, Elon on some stuff, bro. He might be able to come up with something, I'm sure.
Download that neural link into you and then you're able
Yeah.
to take it and transfer it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elon's on some stuff, him.
He is,
Oh,
bro.
check this out, bro. I remember whenever I was a kid, I went to Genesis. You remember Genesis, the high
Yeah, I
school?
do. I do.
Yeah. So I went there. It's a funny story. So they said they had like this parenting thing, like where they had the baby, right, with the diaper, and you had to change the diaper and it would stop crying and stuff like
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
And you had to bring it home, right? So I
And
bring
take
this
care of
thing,
it.
yeah. So I bring this thing home, bro. And I'm sitting there, man, and that thing's looking at me. And back then I was doing stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. And I'm sitting there bagging up some stuff, and I'm sitting there looking at that baby.
Oh, but
And I got to thinking, man, they sent that baby home so they could see what I'm doing, bro.
got eyes on you.
Bro, I threw that baby in the closet, bro. Hey,
That's
it
funny.
started crying all night. I brought it to my mama. I said, Mama, I said, take care of this baby. I'm not messing with that baby. And she was like, she said, are you serious? I said, yeah.
That's
Look,
hilarious.
the
That's
next
cool.
morning, I told my mom, I said, bring me to school, bro. I went basketball shorts, some slides, and a muzzle shirt. I went brought that baby to them. I paid them for the daycare because you could pay like $3 for like a day for the daycare, bro. I paid them for the daycare for the rest of the program, and I went back home and went to sleep. I s-
I'm not dealing with this baby.
I'm not dealing. Y'all trying to set me up.
That's
Y'all
funny.
trying to
Watching
set
you
me up.
too, huh?
Right, I felt like they was on me, bro. I felt like they was on me.
This motherfucker
Yeah,
here is
that thing that's on your trail.
what?
That thing is
But I
on
could
your trail.
I
Listen right now. We start talking about tractors. Neither one of us have any desire for a tractor. That thing's gonna start telling us to go buy a tractor, bro.
bro, look, I was thinking about sweet tart gummy bears the other day. Just a thought. Literally, I got on TikTok for probably like 2 minutes. Sweet tart commercial, the third thing that popped up on my shit. I was like, bro, they in my fucking mind. What the why can you read my mind? That's not
They
cool.
everywhere. They
Not cool.
everywhere. Yeah.
Out of all things, sweet tart gummy bears, I don't that's not just I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not
not
random.
nah, that's not coincidence. I don't believe in
Absolutely not.
coincidence. Nah.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
hey
crazy.
Scott, I appreciate you coming on the show, bro.
I
Anything you
appreciate
want to?
you.
Yeah, bro. Like I love your kindness, I like the compassion, bro. Like one of my brand things is three. It's compassion driven and optimistic.
Mhm.
And that's I pride on those three things tremendously because I think it's the compassion driven to succeed and optimistic, a good positive mindset, a good attitude. Yeah.
Positive and negative. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So don't, how they say, positivity breeds positivity. It's the truth, man. And your attitude, bro, it rubs off on other people, bro. Real
Hmm.
talk. Energy is a real thing. I don't care what nobody said.
Yeah. Look, it's weird because I seen a post something on Instagram the other day, a meme. It says that it's weird that people could believe in Wi-Fi and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But they can't believe in
I already
energy.
know.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like,
Yeah.
man, it's crazy. Hey, Scott, you got anything, bro, you want to share with the audience before we hop off of this, bro? Some
Look,
kind of
that
inspiration. I know you got something
yeah.
powerful. I know you do.
Look, the thing is, if you new to trying to change, or if you have the desire to even want to change, don't think that it's gonna happen overnight. Right? You gotta trust the process. And a lot of times people become overwhelmed because they try to do too much at once. You know, if you just go into this thing, let it sort itself out. If you're battling with addiction, I'm going to say this. Your number one job is do not use. This is it. Like we were just talking about energy. Like I truly believe that if you put out good, good happens. It's the laws of the universe, and ain't nothing can stop that. Right?
Facts. Yeah.
There's nothing that can stop that. Karma, if you want to call it karma, if you want to, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And if you've got a loved one that's trying to change their life, just try to be supportive, but you got to keep in mind that the only difference between enabling and service work is the outcome, right? So if the outcome's still staying the same, then you're enabling, right? You're gonna have to step back, you're gonna have to set boundaries, you know what I'm saying? But I do know that change is hard, but it's possible. It's possible. I'm a living proof. This man here had baby bottles full of liquor. He's a living proof, and if I could quit them that one thing in my life, man, like I quit one thing to gain everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's insane. I just know, like I said earlier, I'm not a unicorn. So if I could do it, anybody can.
Love how you said that, bro. I truly believe that too. I remember just me whenever I had my weight loss journey. I lost 900 pounds, and bro, like it's something I've always felt and said too, bro. Like, man, if I could do this, anybody could do it. It's just little changes day
Trust in
by
the
day.
process. Trust in the
110%,
process. You gotta trust the
110%.
process. Like, whenever somebody's telling you, man, you just gotta be open-minded, willingness, and honest, man. That's it. That's all you gotta have is those three things: the open-minded, the willingness, and honesty. If you have those three things, man, those indispensable principles, right? If you got those three things, man, this thing is for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're willing to go in and say, there's three different types of people, right? There's people that don't want it, don't care. They have a reservation. They're going back. They're going used. They're going back. They're going back to that old life, no matter what. Then you got people who know they got it. Then you got people who want it but don't know how to get it. The only one that's reachable is the last one, is because they're teachable.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I forever want to be teachable.
Mm-hmm.
I will forever be a baby in this thing, right? Be-
Absolutely, bro. That's
because like the moment that I become unteachable, it's over with for me. You
you
know?
can't learn no more because then you think you
No,
know everything.
I'm
You
still
know.
taking suggestions, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only 8.5 years old if you look at it, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I spent the rest of my life messing up and living wrong. I've only been living right for 8.5 years, so I'm a baby.
Yeah, it's true. I love that perception too because it's like you got so much to learn. You know what I
Oh my
mean?
God.
That's what keeps you going. That's what keeps us living. You know what I'm
Look,
saying?
people
'Cause-
people start talking about 401ks and all of them things. I'm like, okay, tell me some more. Right?
yeah,
People start
I
talking
want
about
to
credit
learn.
score. Tell me some more.
Hmm.
Teach me, because you know what, man, I didn't know about these things in the streets. They didn't show me these things in the streets. They showed me I just needed to have cash money.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
You know what? I've got a team of men around me, and women too, that are willing to help me
Hmm.
along the way. And I'm not too prideful to say that I have it all figured out. I don't.
Hmm.
And we let our egos get in the way.
Oh, 110%. 110%. That's why some people struggle alone and never come out of that shit because
Not
they
just
think
that
they could
though.
do it.
Think about this. You know, an active addiction. I did some hurtful things to my daughters indirectly, but I hurt them and I caused trauma. And if my daughter comes out here and she brings it up, right? I'm gonna let my ego get in the way, right? Or am I gonna sit there and say, you know what? You're absolutely right. And I had to suck, right?
Compassion.
What can I do
Hmm.
to try to make you feel better about me today?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But if I let my ego get in the way, it's gonna be, oh, I ain't gonna take no accountability. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's
Hell
gonna
no.
override my emotional side. And guess what, dude? I'm a man without a dad, without them things, and I struggle with emotions.
Hmm.
And I'm still practicing, bro.
Hmm.
I'm still learning. You know?
Scott, I think you're a lot further along than you are, but I love that you have that open mindset to know and to want to learn and grow and be better. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I think where you're at, bro, like I think you're a great person because if
Thank you, brother.
you could if you could accept that you fucked up, I think just that by itself is huge. When you could apologize for when you fuck up, but that's everything to a lot of people, like you admitting saying that you caused trauma to your daughter, you know, people would never want to admit that. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I did the same thing. I know what I did and I realized it, but it took me years to realize it.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, bring that awareness too and talking about it. I think it's powerful too because you grow through it, because you start realizing, thinking more. You don't like to bring it up often because it's painful, but the more you talk about it and the more you grow through it, the stronger and better that bond becomes. I feel.
It does, and you get to understand it.
Yeah,
Because
even deeper,
you really don't know what they went through.
right? Because
You
their
don't.
perspective at that time,
You was on the
they,
other.
yep. Man, Scott, I appreciate you opening up and sharing that, bro.
I
You the
appreciate you.
man. You the man, bro.
Man.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Yeah.
You know,
All right, Scott. Well, bro, look, I appreciate you being on, bro. I really do.
I
It was
appreciate you
good.
anytime.
Yes, sir. All right, brother.